the primer assembly. So I've got it installed with the clips, and I drilled these holes, and my neighbor buddy, who's a retired AMP mechanic, gave me the grommets. Thanks, John. And tie wrap those to the bottom, and I'll get those probably put out of the way a little further. And up it comes. The whole fuel system is now complete. So the primer, one of the lines goes that draws the fuel. Actually, I'll start with where the fuel comes out of. Obviously, it comes out of the fuel tank here, and up in past the fuel filter, and into a big T, and then that pulls primer fuel out of the tank when you pump it. Comes down through the pump and back up this way, and then it splits off into the carburetors. So that's your priming system right there. And then this is attached up into over here. And actually I decided to keep the fuel lines just going back and forth because these are in just such great shape. If I was pre-flighting these, I'd be more than happy to have them. So I'm just going to replace the fuel pump that's coming here pretty soon. I think it should come next week. And but I'll keep all these attached because they're in great shape. So I'll keep the burst line, or the pulse line, I mean. That'll be there, and then I'll just attach everything back up with the main fuel line coming in. So if I need to change it later, I can. It's pretty simple to do, but did that today. Another thing I did today also was to get a strap for the battery. So that's now strapped in, and I drilled some holes there for the GPS source for the transponder. What I'm going to do here on the panel is I'm going to pull out my compass. I've decided to mount it up here, so I'm going to make a mounting bracket for it and mount it up there. And I think I'm just going to plug that for right now. I might put a turn bank coordinator in there. Ideally, I'd love to put a DG in there, a directional gyro, but I think that that's like this is a 2 1/4 hole, and that's the bigger ones up here, the 3. I can't remember what they are, 3 and a something, but 3 1/2 or something like that. So not sure what I'm going to do, but I think I'm probably just going to plug that for right now and go from there. Had I known, I might have put the transponder in there, but that's okay. That will be a project for later. Video here about the transponder antenna that's installed, kind of loosely installed, and there's the BNC connector right there, and this is my cables that I had manufactured that just came for me. Those are RG400 coaxial cable lines, and they did a good job putting these together. It was I think it was called like Segemart or Sedgemart, Segemart, but BNC connector here, 90-degree angle to my transponder box right there, and that's a just a 90-degree right angle BNC connector. I'm sorry, TNC connector that you just screw on right there. So the BNC is just kind of one of these types where you just push down and kind of rotate it. It comes off. Just, find it, line it up, and then push down and rotate. And the TNC you unscrew. So I'll go ahead and take that off again. And then also I had a 6-foot cord come that that has the basically this is the SMA. I'm sorry, the oh gosh, what is it? QMA, something like that. QMA, I think it is, to a TNC type screw-on connector for the antenna. But 6 feet, it works perfect. I wired it up and put my little GPS source there, and then they're going to be connected through the wiring harness. So that's done. What else did I do today? I finished the compass mounting up here. So I fabricated this bracket, and I just put some aluminum rivets in there, you know, so that I could take this out pretty easily if I need to. And there's just the instrument screws that go through these little grommets, and then I fabricated another plate in the back, a little cross plate, and so it has a little plate that comes down. So this is at, you know, whatever acute angle it is, and then I just did a tie wrap. I did buy this, and this worked for a hose clamp, but it's just so big and bulky, and then I can't get the this part of the hose clamp on that top, so it was like this, and it's just like in your face. So I think a tie wrap is so much better. So I put that on there, and you know, I can get a black tie wrap and you wouldn't even barely see it. So I'm just trying to size that up here, but at least it's nice. It's not wiggling. It's in place. It's secure. Okay, so next what I'm doing is just waiting on. Oh, and I got a fuel tank, another fuel gas tank. So I'm gonna have that ready to go. I bought some more acetone for the fabric work on this thing. But what I'm basically waiting on now is the prop bolts. The prop bolts are coming from Art again. He had those and he found them. So those 6 prop bolts are coming. I'll mount the prop, and at that point, I mean, I think I'm pretty much ready to connect up the chassis grounds and the battery ground, of course, as well as the positives. So what I might work on today is just do a little bit of circuit breaker work to get the 3 amp circuit breaker wired in, and a couple things I got to buy at Aircraft Spruce. I got to get a 1 amp circuit breaker, as well as there's one thing I got to get there from Aircraft Spruce, but I can wire in my toggle switch for the transponder. I'll probably work on that now. Just mounted the ELT tray is finalized, and the straps are in. It says battery on this side and front on this side, so that ain't going anywhere. It has to be within 10 degrees of a longitudinal axis, and this is the forward position. So I'm not going to use, I think this is for like a GPS source, but I'm not going to use that end. And then this will be for the little buzzer. So this is going to connect to the to another line, which is going to run up to the cockpit, and then up here in the instrument panel, I'll have that buzzer up here situated with the ELT controller. Been a few days since I've taken a video, and I apologize for the gaps in here in the production here. Let's see, what have I done since my last video about? Well, I did a ground cable. This is a 6 gauge, I believe, 6 gauge cable, and I had a bunch of it that I bought from Home Depot. So this will be my ground to the chassis, aircraft ground. Since then, I've also mounted this buzzer for the ELT. I've got the battery in here. This takes a CV2 battery, which is I believe that is a 3-volt battery. And well, you know what? I can't remember. It's either a 3-volt or a 6-volt. But I mentioned that in another video. Another thing I did was I mounted the ELT. I screwed in this, and I installed the battery on this. So I just got this today. And don't make the mistake of putting the wrong battery in there, so because I put the wrong one in initially and then had to take it out and put the right one in. So that one's now in there, and that's good to go. What else I did since then was, and I'm not sure if I got this on a video or not, so I'll just take it again. I got a cover from Aircraft Spruce, 2 1/4 inch cover, so that's now on. I pulled the compass out, put the compass up here, just did a little bit of tie wrap on that, and I have the mounting bracket, so I've done that. Let's see, what else have I done? I've also installed the air filters up there. I just have to safety wire those so they don't go through, and of course the prop. The prop is huge. I'll show you that here in a second. Anything else I've done? I'm trying to think. Yeah, that ended up being a good install for that. I was thought about putting it down there, and the buzzer, that's totally great. I can plug in my communications cables there to the ELT. I've also, those are 5-year batteries, so that went into the aircraft logbook as well. Over here, I started spray painting yesterday my horizontal stabilizer struts. So those are for the right side. The left side's done. One thing I did, and again, I like to share my mistakes. I was kind of in a weird mood of sorts yesterday. So what I ended up doing is damaging this one right here. So Tom is sending me a new one. I had drilled 2 sets of holes over here, and I ended up cutting off one set because when you put these back on, you know, they're so specific, you have to put them back in the right way. And anyway, I was just rushing, and I made some further edits to this, and what I should have done is just you know, kind of gone a little slower. But you know, I think all things work for the best because I wasn't too happy about this one anyway from the first time I installed it, and I might have mentioned that in a video. So anyway, I did get a replacement, and that's coming. But they look so much better white, don't they? I think that's cool. So what else I'm going to paint is the elevator push-pull tubes. I'm going to do the rudder push-pull tube where you can see it, and I'm going to do the gear legs. I'm going to paint those white right there, and just kind of like the rest of the setup. And I'm also going to do the push-pull tubes there and these. So these and those. And what I'm using is Rust-Oleum appliance epoxy white, and this stuff is great. So I probably have 2/3 of a can left. I might need another can for it, not sure. Anyway, that's what I've been doing since then, and the big one has been the props. So Art sent me the prop bolts. He found them, and there's 6 of these 8mm by 80 with drilled heads for safety wire and washers underneath. So these are torqued down to 120 inch-pounds with my new torque wrench, which I got yesterday. So I was able to go through and retorque the spark plugs to 108 inch-pounds up there. Now, of course, I'm going to pull, I didn't really do it, I did one of them just as practice. I'm going to pull those out, put some gasoline in the cylinders before I start it up. Might need to work on a little bit more of the exhaust mounting, so make sure that that is nice and tight. But I'm just trying to get it ready to start, and I'm getting pretty close. I think I'm going to start it tomorrow. So I'm doing, again, some last-minute wiring over here. And then lastly, like I said, the air filters over there. I've got to move some stuff to get up there, but I mounted those. And I'm going to safety wire them off. But they're on there real tight with those hose clamps. And was there something else over there? Of course, the fuel pump, but I think I mentioned what I did with that. I mounted a new fuel pump, ran a few more lines. You can see those clear lines versus the green lines. Okay, he's getting something in the cylinder. Well, that's a good sign. All right, hang on. Yeah, no, I had a little bit in the cylinder. Okay, let me try to prime it now. He said you got to burn. You just said get a little bit going.
You want me to stop it, honey?
Well, that's a good sign.
That ought to be good.
At least it's grounded.
You want me to stop it or keep filming?
Okay, it's priming now. Fuel's coming up. I hope. Okay, I think I did prime it. Is there fuel in that one? Yeah, there's fuel. Okay.
It's a big toy, Lily.
Clear.
It ain't hit.
No, it did initially.
Well, that was from primer, I'll bet you.
You want me to keep filming, honey?
Is it drawing fuel?
Yeah.
Is that fuel line full?
Yeah.
Do you see fuel in the line?
Yeah, I see fuel in the line. I primed it. I don't want to over prime it.
No.
Let me see.
I mean, I can't smell gas, so it's not over primed.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, clear.
It's not really loud.
Huh. What should I do? Prime it a little more? Clear. I'm holding the
I
starter.
can smell it now.
Huh?
I can smell it.
Okay,
now.
yeah, I'm holding the starter. I won't prime it anymore. He said open the throttle. He said put a little bit in the cylinders. I did. That's what was the initial puff.
Yeah.
And then he said go ahead and prime it and put it to half throttle. But I tried that. It didn't seem to go. I don't know if I over primed it, but
Can I? Do you want me to keep
Clear.
filming? Want me to keep filming?
Huh?
Keep filming?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I can get it going, just for a little bit. Suggestions, John? What do you think? Try it. I'm gonna try it half open.
Okay, John, you
Okay,
take
clear.
over. I gotta go. Sounds like it's ready.
Are you turning it off or is it just stopping?
No, I turned it off.
Oh.
That just shut off at idle. Hey guys and gals, just some initial impressions after firing this engine up today. I am first of all really thankful that the engine started because of my wiring and the fact that the engine sat for 9 years. I'm so thankful to grateful to Mike Height and to Art Van Eaton for really Mike for packaging it up and kind of preparing the engine for it to sit, and then also for Art for packaging it and labeling and getting things ready for me. So both guys, I really appreciate you. Just shout outs there. What I wanted to just talk about is the engine did start and it ran smooth after getting the primer figured out a little bit. I now have fuel in the lines. There is no more air in the system, which is great. A couple things I noticed on the panel. First of all, my gauges didn't work. So both EGT and CHT are not working, and the tachometer did not work. I figured out that there was a missing ground wire in the tach, and I fixed that. But as far as the EGT, CHT, I'm having to rewire everything. So another thing is I did get power to my Hobbs meter, I got power to my transponder, so I was thankful for that. I have to do some further testing there to make sure they're functioning like they're supposed to. Another mistake I made was I put actually the ELT upside down, so I've got to take that out and flip that right side up, as well as the switch. The switch, this is actually on, and so yeah, that's on, and that would be off. So I've got to reverse it. I want to have this. Oh, you know what? Actually, I did that already. I just realized now that I did unscrew it and flip that around now. So this is right side up. That's off, and then up would be on. But everything else is running really well, which is I'm super excited about. Again, more testing on the transponder to make sure that works. More testing on the ELT to make sure that works. But besides that, I'm going to be ready to tie wrap stuff and clean it up and get it ready for fabric. So super, super stoked about that. And so because the EGT and the CHT wires didn't work, I'm going to redo the system. So basically there's three parts to this, okay? What you get from Tom is this is in the back of the instrument. This is the instrument side of things. And there's 4 wires, and they're basically blue and black, and then brown and green. So you've got those colors, and you see that here. And so these go into the back of the instrument, and then from the wire they get routed into this other harness here. And so there's 4 colors that are different on this one. There's black and white, and then red and green. I think it's red. Yeah, red and green. So the way that I'm going to do this is black and white on this one are going to be into the blue and the black on this one. And so you can solder these. I just choose to use splices and splice it, and then probably try to, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the heat shrink over that, so I probably won't. So what I'll probably do is just cut this off and then just use electrical tape and tape it up. That'll be fine, and it'll be a nice connection. From here, this goes into the sending units for the CHT probes and the EGT probes as well. So the way that works is there's basically 2 wires per. There's a white and a black. And so I just did my wiring diagram according to this, which probably looks really confusing. But basically, again, like for CHT, the white and black are going to go into the wire white and black, which into the instrument is going to be blue and black. And that's going to be one set. The other CHT, for example, will be black and white. Those are going to be, according to Tom, wired into the red and the green, which they're going to go into the brown and the green on the instrument side of things. So same thing for the EGT. Doesn't matter where they go, just make sure you know where they go. So I'm just going to make sure I have this down. I'm going to take a picture of it, and that'll be my wiring for the CHT EGT.